Yep, right here on GZR, Ground Zero Radio, 101.5, KOCI, LPFM in Newport Beach, Costa Mesa. That's where we be.
And the world.
And the world and beyond. Mars, are you listening?
Soon enough.
Right.
Beep, 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 beep.
I don't see any reason why we shouldn't find how to broadcast up there. Why not? So anyways, there might be like a 12-minute delay?
Yeah.
25-minute delay? I don't know, something like that.
NASA has a couple hours, so yeah.
Well, they did just start streaming from Mars.
Did they now?
And the delay was shorter than I thought it would be. It was something like 12-minute delay or something like that.
That'd be good for me because then I could start swearing again. I don't have to think about this.
We don't have to hit the dump button.
Hit the dump button.
There used to be Robbie's in the house. There used to be a little sign here that says "Don't cuss."
Oh yeah.
Do I need to put the sign? I could put the sign. I could write you one right now.
I've been doing good.
You have.
It's tough. It's really tough.
You haven't. You have not. I have not pressed the dump button once on you, Tris.
I don't know how that's possible because the second I get out of here, it's trash mouth all the way.
Well, check this out. We have the one and only Lochner. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to say Robbie Lochner in the studio.
You have Robbie.
Yeah.
Thank
How's it
you
going,
for
man?
coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's an honor, man. It's an honor. Yeah, she's telling you to get closer to the mic.
Oh, closer to the mic.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, so we were talking out front because we've met a few times, but of course, I would remember him because he's rock star. But his musical background, which we're going to get into, he's been doing this for a while, and he's the kind of player in Orange County, which is like if you had an award show, he'd be like one of the top guys, maybe one or two, as far as talent goes, because some of the stuff he's done on guitar with two-handed playing and the classical stuff, which I've seen you play live. Yeah. I don't think you do that anymore.
It's been a while.
It's been a while, but it's just, you can't. That's a whole other world of guitar playing,
right?
But
yeah, definitely a versatile skill set in your background.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us tonight, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, let's tell our listening audience, in case they're unaware, which I cannot imagine them not being aware, but of the magic happening in the studio right now with Robbie Lochner in the studio. You play for
Jack Russell's Great White.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great band.
Yes.
Incredible band.
So today I had to remind my son, who actually my son, he's pretty hip. He's into all kinds of music, and I put on, Once Bitten, Twice
Shy.
Yeah.
Once bitten, twice
and I want to
shy.
and I want to reverse that,
That's the point.
Once shy, twice bitten. I know.
Oh, that's close enough.
I know, right? So
once I was shy, now I'm bitten.
Yeah.
that is, it's kind of like a play on words. Anyways, yeah. So, so thank you for being here, man.
Well, thank you for having me.
So you also write your own original material.
I do. I have been for years, though. Some of the material, that I just kind of stockpile stuff and I just record it, and it's almost like it's for myself. And then I'll play it to a few people, and they're like, "Well, why don't you put it out?" So I ended up putting some stuff out that I really didn't intend on putting out. But I thought, you know what? I like it. So, if other people like it too, that's great. If they don't, that's great too.
Definitely like it.
Yeah, definitely. All over again. I'm going to launch that one.
Are you going to start with that?
Wow.
Well,
you said...
I think you know what? These are alphabetical, and that's not random enough.
No, right?
Alphabetically is not random enough.
That's a ballad, and which is cool. I like it. I do like it. And but, maybe even start with something that's in between, like Stillwater. How about
there you
Stillwater?
Go.
Nice. Okay, Stillwater's cool.
I found a letter from you yesterday behind a broken mirror. Blue ink has faded to gray. I've seen the years flow by now, so many lifetimes away. Your words I
Right on.
Yeah.
Robbie Lochner and his original music.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I have to talk. So what I like about that song, no one asked me, but it's a pop tune. The harmonies are fantastic. The drums, every part of it just, I am so into this style of music. I saw Roxanne last Friday night, and that's the same thing. It's like fantastic lyrics and songs, melody, the guitar work, of course, without question, phenomenal. Was there what's the song meaning to you?
Well, it's interesting because it kind of flipped. It's a song that's been around for a while, and originally I had it with a guy named Bernie Corgan who passed away 12 years ago, and he had sang it, and he sang it for his mom.
Oh, wow.
And I just go, man, it's such a great song, and it's just sitting. We had a bunch of really good music, and I thought, I'm going to redo this, but I'm going to sing it to him.
Oh,
so
wow,
I changed the
nice.
lyrics, so it was kind of like singing it
Okay.
back to him.
Wow.
So I recorded that in my studio, mixed it, did everything. I had a guy named Joey Felix playing drums, and Rev Jones on bass. I don't know if you know Rev Jones.
I don't know Rev.
Rev's
No.
a bad man.
Nice.
He's played with a lot of different people, but he's one of these guys that just insane, like Billy Sheehan.
Right.
Capabilities.
Yeah.
But when he played on this track, he just knew how to play what was needed, and I thought, man, that's a player. The guy who doesn't overgo, I'm all over. He just, you hear all the beautiful melodies he did, and I'm like, man, so good.
Well, that's the one thing that I've remarked to you through messaging we've talked before is sometimes it's not the note you play, it's the note you don't play.
Mm-hmm.
And, one of the tracks that we're going to play is certainly one of the things that caught my ear in the solo, because it seems, knowing what your capacity for leads is, you took a different route, which was the best route. And I was like, thank you, for going that distance on there.
That's how I approach it, though. With music, I want the song to tell me what to do, because a lot of people are like, well, I expected something totally different out of you. And they're like, I didn't think you would play that little or whatever it was, but it's always about putting what I feel the song wants.
Yep, absolutely. And I'll add that having listened to your music now, you do, and we've talked about this in the past of artists that come in here, because it's easy to sound like somebody else. Everybody over the period of years, and certainly we've seen it all, but you've definitely developed with your vocals, which we were talking about. You have your vocal now; it's your tone.
Yeah,
and you roll with that because that's you.
I mean, it's definitely. I've never tried to mimic anybody, and I've always been with really good singers for years and years.
Yeah.
And it's kind of makes you a little shy about singing. I'm singing backing vocals, no problem. I can harmonize all day and everything, but to step out and do the lead vocal.
Yep.
But when I have all these songs that I keep piling up, it's like, well, I'm just gonna sing it.
Yeah.
And you like it or you don't, and that's okay.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, we've heard that over and over. Yeah, we've had some other artists in here too, where they just couldn't find the singer, which we were talking about, that would portray the emotion and feeling that you want to hear in the song.
Yeah.
And so I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
So
And then it comes out amazing.
Yeah,
Comes out
exactly.
amazing.
Because then it's the original and unique.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the idea, I guess.
I like there was some very subtle atmospheric throughout.
Textures, we call
yes.
those.
Yeah.
Yes. In certain spots, I really appreciated.
Oh, cool. You noticed them. That's good.
Definitely. Instead of it just dropping off or,
There's a lot of
like
subtleties
that.
in there. That's cool that you caught it.
Yep.
Some people don't. They'll kind of miss it. You might have to listen over and over in headphones, go, oh, there's this, there's that, there's this, but...
And you know what? She said she appreciates it too.
And I like that. I appreciate that she appreciates it.
Well, I appreciate you, Rock Lochner.
Rock Lochner.
You do realize how hard it is not to say lobster.
Yeah, we used to do that ourselves. Rock lobster.
Right? B-52s.
I never even thought of that until you just said that.
What?
That's typical of me, though.
Michael
will agree with that one.
Yeah.
I've been practicing I've been practicing all day not to say that.
lobster.
Make sure I say Lochner.
Okay.
Got to practice these things.
Yes.
Okay, so I am not going to do the random thing anymore since
Nope.
my songs are obviously alphabetical. So what would you like for us to hear next?
We're here
what do
for you.
Okay, so what do you think? Should we go for something a little hard-hitting?
Yeah.
Which would be Why Not? Or should we go go back into my past, way back, and try
for
some
back
Rock
first.
Lochner. You want to try the Rock Lochner?
Yeah, let's do that.
Now, let me
Yeah.
preface this with saying that we recorded this in our own studio, even though this other stuff was recorded in my studio. This is many years ago on an E63. It's like a half-inch tape, 16
Oh,
track.
yes.
And
The fidelity.
yeah, so quality-wise, I don't know what it's going to be, but I think it's, I hope if it sounds horrible, we should abandon it in the middle of it. But I mean, I really like the music, and most of these songs, the 3 that I sent you, nobody's got them.
Okay.
I don't think hardly anybody's heard them, well, at least in not many years. And the main thing to focus on is the singer was amazing.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
cool.
really good.
Yeah. So which song are we kicking off first?
Well, there's 3 of them. There's Law's a Lady that I sent you.
Pray to an Angel
And
Coming Right Up.
Let's go with Law's a Lady.
There it goes.
All right.
Tell me why I'm falling for the sea trials and tribulations. Tell me when I can find some peace of mind and satisfaction. Black is black and white is white. Come see the color of my eyes. The color of my love is blue and it's fading. The love is a lady. She's a lady. She's a lady. Love's a lady. Love is a lady. She's a lady. Why don't you tell me how I can't conceive the almost perfect situation? Will you become as cold as ice? My heart's been broken more than twice, and you'll be standing all alone, oh so alone. Love is a lady. She's a lady. She's a lady. Love's a lady. Love is a lady. She's a lady. Telling me right from wrong. Love is a lady. She's a lady. And I'm gonna break it. We're alone in the dark. Not even the sun can penetrate your heart. Cannot take it, never break it. She can see the evil Romans blinded me. Still a chance, get away. The skills of telltale none away. Black is black and white is white. Can see the color of my eyes, the color of my love for you. Gonna break it. Love is a lady. She's a lady. She's a lady. Love's a lady. Love is a lady. She's a lady. Tell me. She's a lady. She's a lady. She's a lady. Love's a lady. Love is a lady. She's a lady. I'm gonna break it. Yeah. Why don't you want me to stay? Are you feeling down? Can't settle on my lonely life. Feeling good as being by your side. Someone to
Wow.
Serious.
Holy smokes.
That was a twofer.
Yeah, there's
That
a two.
was.
So we were talking and Michaela warned me not to talk like during the songs on, so we have to go back now. So tell us about this group.
Okay, so this band was my band that I started back in many, many years ago in high school. And it just kind of developed over time. And, you know, I found this singer who obviously is amazing. Ken Trippon is the guy's name. He's still around, but not really doing music.
Yeah.
He's involved in music, but I don't think he's performing last I talked to him. But we had this band, and when he joined it, initially the band, we had a couple different names, Riff Raff and Oak and Shield, and we're playing high school parties and playing at our high school. And then people started just kind of going, we'd go out and we'd play, and I was like, no, we're not even a band. We just go and show up and play. And then they kept calling it Rob Lochner's band. I'm going, no. We're not a band. No.
Yeah.
And then people started going, Rock Lochner. And then my brother joined the band.
Okay.
And he plays guitar as well. And then they're going R, Robbie, or the O, Charlie. Robbie or Charlie. Lochner.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of how it came about.
Okay.
I wonder.
So it was together for many, many years and was pretty popular for a while, quite popular.
In Tucson or out here?
Regionally in Tucson.
Okay,
We
yeah.
played Tucson, Phoenix, Sierra Vista, just that region there. And it kind of hit the wall at a certain point, and that's when I was like, if we don't move to California,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen.
That's the truth.
So they were like, no, we can do it. And I'm going, it's not going to happen unless we move. We were stuck in our little fishbowl. And that's kind of the process to me moving out here was I was like, if I'm going to do something, I got to leave. And I did.
Yeah, well,
So
that's a common story, you know. I mean, we were talking earlier before, which is, you know, you got to go where the music industry is.
yeah.
And, you know, all the usual suspects we know from Orange County, and there's a number of them,
Yeah.
they definitely have done pretty good. You know, there's a couple people that have done, a few people that have done pretty good, and it's because they went to L.A. You know, they loaded up their Rambler station wagon.
Hey, wait a minute.
That guy.
I had a Ford Torino station wagon that I loaded up. I packed it to the gills and left, and I go, I'm leaving.
All right.
I'm not coming back.
So
There actually was a valid purpose for owning a Volkswagen.
yeah.
or any kind of a station wagon.
Station wagon. That's what I meant to say.
My excuse was I had a Pinto station wagon, and it wouldn't make it to L.A., so I couldn't go there.
That's right.
It overheated
Those Pintos.
somewhere around Anaheim. I had to turn around and come home.
Well, certainly in the day, I think you had to be in one of the meccas. There was no doubt. And I had thought about moving to New York, but I was going, it's too far from home. Yeah. But I think now with the internet, it's clear that if you can go viral from anywhere, that you really could pretty much
From
do it
any
from
living
anywhere.
room anywhere on the planet.
That's right.
Yeah.
So there is that. So it is a whole different world. But, you know, at the time, I knew for sure I had to move. I had to move out here. And, you know, there was a lot of people who were like, oh, yeah, I'm never doing it, you know, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And I'm like, I'm just like, put my head down and I'm just going to do my thing. And I was pretty fortunate to have landed some things. You know, my first real gig, national gig, was with Rob Halford. So I wasn't even here a year, and I was like, oh, well, guess what?
That's
guess what happened?
amazing. Yeah. So because we want to get in some other music, but tell the story of how that happened.
You know, it's interesting because
You were in Guitar Center.
Yeah. Actually, what got his attention was a thing that I do called Can of Whoop Ass. And you can see it on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
And actually, Jack saw it too, and that was kind of the catalyst to that happening.
Okay.
But I have a friend of mine that I didn't know at the time, but he was from Tucson, and he worked at KNAC, Razor Ray DiCarlo. You might know him.
Oh, yeah.
So Razor was out here, and there was a girl I know, Christina Vinches, and she introduced us, and he said, you need to send a tape over to EMAS, which is Entertainment Management Advisory Service, which was by John Baxter, was Rob Halford's manager.
Okay.
So I sent this nice package I put together, and I put a tape in there, and the only thing I put on there was Can of Whoop Ass. That was it. And I was like, I sent it in there, didn't hear anything, and it was like they supposedly hook people up with bands, is what I heard. I'm thinking maybe they can find me a band. Didn't hear anything this is before I moved. And then I moved out, and it was about 10 months after I moved out here. I come home one day from teaching guitar, and there's a message on, you remember those old little reel-to-reel
Sure.
answering machines?
Yep.
and it was from John Baxter, and he was out of Phoenix, and I'm like, wow. And he's like, you got to call me back.
Go turn around.
The guy
So-
gonna turn around.
Yeah, I know, crazy, right? So then I call him up, and he was like, yeah, first he didn't answer, and then he called me back, and then he was trying to tell me that, well, there's this band you gotta join, and you're gonna leave. We're leaving it was a week at that point, but it was 5 days by the time I got the songs and stuff. But I'm like, okay, and he was just telling me all this stuff, but he didn't tell me who it was for. But you're gonna be going, you're doing this, and you need a passport, and I'm like, okay.
Oh.
And then I was like, okay, whatever, and then we hang up, and he calls me back the next day, and he goes, okay, Rob told me I could tell you. It's for his band. And Russ had quit the band. I'm like, oh, well, of course I'm playing. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
So then they wanted me to go get an airplane ticket. They're going to fly you to Phoenix. I'm going, well, I just came from Arizona. So I went to Phoenix, and they basically signed me up, so to speak, gave me, the full Fight record. I think it was 13 songs and 7 pre-songs. Go learn those. We'll see you in 5 days on stage.
Wow.
And it was literally, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Get
It
it.
was crazy.
Wow. Yes. What
I
a
mean,
rush.
I sat there, and the first day was everybody calling me. And I'm like, I got to turn off the phone and study,
Sure.
So I'm studying. I go through the pre-stuff. Stuff I grew up on. It was simple, it was like, okay, I know this, go through it, got it. And then the Fight stuff I wasn't familiar with. So I'm like, oh, some of it's drop C. I just had to sit there and learn it. So I sat down and I learned the whole record. And I got back, went to the first song, couldn't remember a note. And I was like, I should have wrote it out. And now in hindsight, it would have been smarter. But it was just like a little bit of pressure,
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I'm working it and trying to retain it. And then I had to go down to the consulate and get a passport because we were leaving the country. So they did a rush passport, and they helped. And, well, at that time, my stepfather out here was a LA sheriff, and he went down and helped me out, and that didn't hurt matters. So I go back and I'm studying, and then it was like a day goes by, and I'm like, did this really happen? I go, what am I doing? I'm learning this stuff. They gave me this. And then Rob would call me up, and he'd be, how you doing? Good. He goes, I know you can do it. And just, just kind of building me up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, yes. Yeah. And then I go back to studying, and so it was good. And then by the time we were traveling, I had one of those little Walkmans with a cassette player on it.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to the songs, and stupid me didn't think to bring backup batteries.
Oh.
So the batteries start running out, and then it's going slower and slower. I'm like, oh, no. But it was fine. There was no rehearsal. I got up and did a sound check. And I tell you, it was almost debilitating. I was so nervous. I was like, And then before the show, the most amazing thing happened to me. I decided I was very, very nervous, and I walked and I peeked out from behind the curtain, and I looked out and saw all these people. It was in an indoor soccer arena, and it was sold out for 2 nights. And the energy just was so intense that everything just went out. It's like it went out my feet. It was gone.
Wow.
And I just kept thinking, that was me in the front row with all my buddies that I grew up with.
Yeah.
Not so long ago, looking up here. Now I'm over here.
Yeah.
And then one of my friends that played in Robbie Lochner, after my brother quit the band, my friend Vic Visco played guitar, and he was killed, unfortunately, in a car accident. And then I thought of him, of course. I'm like, Vic, man, we did it, because it was the whole thing.
There's
was like,
the purpose.
Yeah.
Gotta have it.
And him, and there's a bunch of guys, this guy Jay Kelso and Dan Felgar and Bob Malady, all these buddies that I grew up with, they were like, man, you guys, of course, they're alive.
Yeah,
I'm like, and then I wasn't nervous, and I walked back into the back room, and they're like, so, nobody asked me no one asked until then, so are you nervous? And I went, actually, I'm not, and they kind of looked at me weird, like,
Preparation,
it just changed, all of a sudden, it was the coolest feeling.
Yeah. Awesome.
An incredible story.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
amazing. And we've heard similar when guitar players have had to replace a rather well-known, guitar player, of how they had to learn this stuff. And some of it, like you mentioned, was stuff they knew their whole life.
Yeah.
But then when it came down to it, it's like, oh my God, I had to learn all this other stuff. So that moment is shared with a lot of people in your spot,
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure.
And it's not just learning it, it's owning it.
Yeah.
It's learning it, retaining it, and then owning it.
Yes. Yeah. That's
And
a
you know
whole
what?
nother level.
There was a video out from that very first show, and it's been over 10 years. One of my students had found it. And I was like, oh my God, the whole show's here. And I watched it, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. And it was like, there was one spot I noticed. I remember there was a mistake, and it wasn't bad, but there was a break, and I came back in, and I was behind. And I remember Rob being out in front of the speaker to my left, and he kind of walks, and he turns and looked over at me, gave me a little nod, like, like, it's all good, It's like, okay, and I'm a little bit behind, but I'm back in.
Yeah.
But, I mean, when I watched it back, I was like, wow, I didn't really notice any mistakes. And I was going, wow, that was I was surprised, you know.
Yeah.
But the video was gone.
Can't find it.
Well, what had happened
Yeah,
they took it down and they had two lawyers' names on it. I'm like, oh, really? Come on. I should have burnt it. I should have kept a
Yeah.
copy of it. It was the
Darn.
first show.
Darn, yeah.
Yeah.
God, amazing story, man.
Yeah.
yeah.
Incredible.
So,
I
and-
didn't know that. I knew you were in fight, but I
Fight,
didn't
yeah.
know that whole backstory. That's incredible.
Right?
Gosh.
Yeah, what a rush.
Yeah, it was
Totally.
pretty intense.
And so your own music
Mm-hmm.
that you gotta stop being so shy, man.
Well, you know, when you get around a lot of really good singers, and I've
Yeah.
been fortunate to have worked with quite a few really good singers, it makes it a little more difficult to be like, hey, you know, I'm a singer. It's like,
sure,
I'm not
sure.
a singer. I sing, you know, and I like doing it, but I don't really like being that front guy. I like being in a band where you got
Yeah.
a lead singer who's like dynamite and you harmonize with him and you write and you work as a band.
Yeah.
I like the unit thing. It's just, to me, there's nothing like it.
Right. All right, so let's check out another one of yours.
Let's do Why Not?
Absolutely.
Well, why not?
Why not do Why Not?
Why did you take the green on my chair? Hit 'em back, hit 'em hard, on into winter. I'm gonna perfect, get while I can. Rise up, figure out, I'm in command, I am inspired. Ooh, got the summer rain, it's moving through my veins as I go higher. I leave all sorrow and regret and live the moment. Why not? Why not? Ooh, why not? Why not? Run into roadblocks that I bust through. I kick down every door that I come to. Don't leave reluctant and come with me. When it comes to living life, I'm living free. I am inspired. Ooh, got you on my brain. You're moving through my veins as I go higher. I leave all sorrow and regret and live the moment. Why not? Why not? Ooh, why not? Why I'm inspired. Got you on the brain. You're moving through my veins. So higher. Leave your rage and regret and live the moment. Why not? Why not? Don't get lost. Why not? Why not? Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Right on.
Yep.
So are you doing the background vocals, or did you bring someone in on that?
No, I did all the vocals, all the guitars, all the vocals.
You're
and-
doing some tasty stuff with your vocals.
Oh yeah, that's just
thanks.
You are.
That's what I'm telling you. You have a sound and a style that we've heard out of your originals. So you don't need no singer, bro.
Well, I mean, I'll keep doing my stuff, but it's kind of more, a little bit more back burner to the with Jack and then with Dilf.
Yeah,
But I
that's
mean,
what
I'll
you
still
wanna
keep
do.
doing it. I mean, I'll keep doing it for sure. I mean, this one was Ken Mary playing drums, who plays in Jack Russell's Great White Now, and Dan McNay playing bass.
Yep.
And then me doing everything else, the production, mixing, the whole 9 yards. And those guitars, like the solos, those were the demo solos. I put this together for King Cobra with Carmine.
Oh, no
I
kidding.
was kind of in the band for a little bit, but I got so busy with Jack that I couldn't really fulfill the obligation. So I actually wrote 5 songs for them, and I gave them, I think 3. And I took this one back. I was going, no, I want to do this one. You know,
This one.
I'm just going to do it myself.
Yeah.
So, so the demo had that like that's the demo
Right,
guitar.
okay.
And the solos were all demo solos. I did them on a Kemper, and then when it came time to do it, I recut the rhythms, and then I was like, God, the solos feel good. Do I really want to redo them?
Yeah.
And so I didn't. And I could tell they're a Kemper when I listened to it. Like, I could tell it's a Kemper, but it's okay.
Yeah. I would have never known that.
No.
And I listened for that. I think because I'm listening to the context of the solo.
Yeah.
And so I didn't even really think about the tone that much.
There's
you
just
know?
something about it that I can
Yeah.
tell when I kind of go with that and a real amp, because the real amp I can push the EQ and push things more. With the Kemper, it's a little more difficult. I start pushing it a little bit and it starts not working.
Yeah.
So I only did some slight little things to push the solo out front without cranking the volume up.
Gotcha.
And it's, I like it.
It's a great tune.
We like
Absolutely.
it. We like it, definitely.
As I mentioned, as I was playing, my son used it on one of his motorcycle videos for, I think it was a short reels thing, that he did, but it just fit. It fit riding. It fit skydiving. It fit sports.
Yeah.
If you think about it, because you say, why not?
Yeah.
It's like, why not? Let's go jump out
Go
of an
down this
airplane.
hill.
I'm never going to do that.
I
but-
think I saw the dirt bike riding one.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was he riding?
Well, he rides single track. He rides for, he's in Wolf Enduro is the name of his club. And he goes out and he plots courses by himself or with his group. And then he just goes out by himself with his GoPro and goes where no one else has gone. And he doesn't tell people where he's at, which is even cooler.
Right.
So it's a
right.
mystery.
It
And the
is a
song
mystery.
just fits
It did
the vibe.
fit. It does fit with
Yeah.
all what he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually,
And why
I'll put
not?
out the other version for that.
For sure. Well,
Because it's totally
yeah.
different lyrics, except for it still says "Why not." All
Right.
that's the same,
Perfect.
but the verses are different. They're about driving a car, but it's kind of
Yeah.
got a little sexual innuendo to it.
That's fine. He's 21.
Okay, then it's okay. He might not even catch it.
Yeah.
It might be over his head. He might be like, "Yeah, I'm driving a car fast, or
Yeah.
a motorcycle fast, or whatever it is."
Yeah.
Awesome, man. What would you like to share with us next?
What else do we got on there? Let's see.
We got the best years of still.
Oh, yeah,
we did
best
that
years
one.
of our
Remember
lives.
when, crazy, and all over again.
Oh, you know what? Let's do "Remember When." It's an instrumental.
Instrumental.
Remember
it's actually my brainchild that we.
We're talking about Robbie Lochner's brainchild.
It's my brainchild.
It is your brainchild.
That
We are so glad that you're sharing your brainchild with us here on
Yeah.
Ground Zero Radio.
Ground Zero.
That was some guitar playing.
Yeah, it
Right?
was. Oh my gosh.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
Better
Thanks.
fingers, man. Better fingers. And you tell. I mean, I observe things. I mean, look at his.
Fingers.
I know we're on radio. This is audio. You can't see what we see, but there's musicians that come in here, and there's little tiny subtleties that are just obvious to me. The dude's got these incredibly limber, long, lean fingers, obviously just slip and slide up and down the neck
Slip and slide.
of the guitar.
Oh,
Okie dokie.
Of the
yeah, right. So anyhow,
I meant that in the most professional
We know the
fashion.
show is getting looser and looser all the time.
so that song was "Remember When."
Okay.
Joey Felix on drums. That was recorded in my studio as well.
You notice this is what happens? The
Yeah.
guest starts to take over the show because we're completely out to lunch.
Because we're goofballs.
But what do
ahead.
we want to hear now? You want to hear something that was on the first Jack Russell Great White record? I brought this to Jack. It was
Yeah.
the second song that he wanted to do that I brought to him. And then, of course, we worked it out, and it's a collaborative effort. But my brainchild was there's songs of his that he brought to me that were his brainchild, and then I start working them out, and we work them out together.
Right.
That's how we work. We kind of go, hey, I got this idea. What do you think of this?
Right.
I almost sent you guys He Saw It Coming, the title track, which I love. That one took forever to put together. And the first time I played it to him, he went, oh, no. And then
Really?
he came in the studio, and I go, Jack, you're not hearing it right. Come in. And he came in the studio, and I put it on, and just the riff I had, and I swear to you, he stood up and started singing to it. He goes, this is great. And I went, okay. And it was really hard to put together. But this one, I love this one, too. It's my probably top favorite as well.
And the title?
Crazy.
I know this girl who's straight up out of her head. She can be the sweetest child and out of the living dead. Before you move her in, change your life, don't be proud to be who you are. You better keep this in mind. You never know who you're messing with. Cinderella or the bride of Frankenstein. She's crazy, she's crazy. If you know what I mean. A whole lot of sexy and a little obscene. She's crazy, ain't no doubt in my mind. It's a shock somewhere along the line. Ooh, she's crazy. Oh man, that's right. Oh, don't need no dinners out, no diamonds, no roses. She was sexual all the drive, from her head down to her toes. Yes, wind you up when you let her play it rough. She'll love you that much more. She's an informatic maniac, but that's what makes her so hardcore. She's crazy. You'll know in the end. If you blow her off, she'll just hook up with your friends. She's crazy. 515 for sure. Good time to change the locks on your door.
Okay.
Jack Russell on vocals.
Okay, 'cause I got to talk again.
Yes.
So, what's it like working with him? Because we used to go see him in Dante Fox at the Woodstock,
Yeah.
and we'd like open up for that band, and he always seemed to me kind of like your guitar playing, effortless with singing. I don't see him as a guy where you like do 14 takes and you have to punch in the wrong note. It doesn't sound like
no, that's not really him.
Yeah, I would say not. Yeah.
He's just, it depends on the day. Some days aren't as good as others, but I think it was that particular day he came in and knocked out 3.
Yeah.
And was like, wait a minute, what? the other day we got nothing, and he comes in and does 3 in a row. I'm like, okay, I'll take it.
He's got that voice. I mean, like
Yeah,
this is
no question.
this is a perfect example of what this show is about, because this song is just an amazing tune, and we're Orange County. This is our own.
Yep.
And we're playing it on the radio.
All those interesting chords with the vocals.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was delicious.
I should have brought these out coming. Next time I'll do that. That
Okay.
one's got the vocals on that. It took forever to figure out that one, and there's an a cappella track that is just
Really?
layered. Oh, yeah. I didn't realize you guys would be into that. I would have brought that one too.
Yeah, we're into everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really cool. That one took a really long time, and it took some convincing to Jack. I was like, Jack, I got this idea. I've always wanted to do an a cappella track. He's like, and so I started I put a little bit together, and he goes, hey, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And just a little taste of it, and then I did an acoustic guitar and had him sing to it, and he sang down a couple versions, and then I just took it and I shortened it, and then I made it a basic arrangement how I wanted, and then I brought Dan in, and I said, Dan, sing some bass, boom, 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 and he's doing all this, He got that together, and then I sang the guitar parts, channel left, channel right,
No
and sang a
kidding.
guitar solo with harmonies, and it's just, it's pretty cool.
So-
it sounds 50s, very doo-wop.
Do you know who the 4 freshmen are?
No.
So you'd have to go back into the 4. So the 4 freshmen were this group of freshmen who got together. They couldn't afford instruments, so they created this harmony music together. This is where the Beach Boys come from.
Oh, wow. Oh,
So Brian Wilson was influenced by the 4 freshmen. So that's the sort of thing when you can create an entire song with all the bass, with the rhythm, and all that sort of stuff, just with voices.
voices, yeah.
Well, she's clicking at me. What's that mean?
time is up.
No.
I know.
Come on.
But that's why it's so important that we lock in another show.
Yes.
Yeah.
With
Lock in
the-
with Lochner.
There you go.
That was
See?
easy for
And
me.
I'll bring some more rock Lochner since you guys liked it.
Oh,
There's some
yeah.
cool
Absolutely.
stuff that people haven't heard.
Bring
like
it,
a lot.
bring it all,
Yeah.
bring it all. Definitely bring that acapella one.
Okay,
Yeah,
Place.
for sure that.
For place.
And he saw it coming. You got to hear that one too. I love that. It's very Queen-esque,
Cool.
and that was kind of the
Yeah,
point.
and
of
I
it.
was and I was even thinking that on Crazy
Oh, really?
with those
Those harmonies and
harmonies
stuff,
and
yeah.
those chord. Oh wow, yeah, Queen-esque
Uh-huh.
ish.
This other one will really make you feel that way. But
Oh.
yeah.
Super
Cool.
califragilistic.
Maybe we should give Robbie 2 hours instead of 1.
I know.
There you
You
go.
know,
Might
we
be
could
enough
work that
material.
out. Oh, okay, yeah.
Seriously,
We
right?
can look at some dates and do that.
I know you were talking about
If
you
you're
didn't
down
really
with
want to play acoustically, but maybe we can change your mind on that somehow.
I like talking. I can talk and talk. No.
And
Okay.
he's got some great stories.
He does.
Yeah, the
We didn't
stories are amazing.
We probably barely even touched on the stories.
Right.
There could be some more interesting ones. Some I couldn't tell, and some I could.
Yeah.
Some things you just don't reveal.
You know, yeah, that's
But there's
cool.
there's some good ones though. Yeah, I have a few.
Okay, so we'll definitely have you back.
Okay, cool.
And thank you for being here tonight.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm going to do station ID, let's exit the show with another one of yours.
Perfect.
What would you like to do?
What was left on there?
We have All Over Again, the best years of.
Oh, all over again's the ballad. The best years is kind of like a mid-tempo kind of different. It's very different, but it's, I don't know. It's a dedication to all the artists that have passed away over the last 30 years.
That's
And
a lot
if you
right
see the
there.
video, it's got all these things in it. It's pretty cool because it's kind of like my dedication to the guys I grew up to listening to. And I reference Van Halen in there, and John is in John Fogerty, and
He's still alive.
John Fogerty. Oh yeah.
What?
Making sure.
Okay.
Because sometimes I miss that.
Yeah.
do
there's
that
some-
one. Do that one.
Let's do
Sure.
Yeah,
that
I
one,
like that.
definitely. Robbie Lochner, thank you so much for kicking it here with us tonight
Cool.
and putting up with us. And we'll be looking forward to having you back on the show. Thank you, everyone, for listening to GZR Ground Zero Radio here on 101.5 KOCI LPFM in Newport Beach, Costa Mesa, with your hosts, Michaela Compton, Mike Karen, and Tris Mahaffey. We'll see you again. We'll be here next Monday, same time, same place, 7 to 9 p.m. Check this out, the best years of
Our lives.
our lives.
John play. He wrote songs that define the day. Anytime I feel the need to be free, I put on some Fogarty. When Eddie ruled the world, the boys dressed up like girls. Flamboyancy and wizardry was Van Halen's supremacy. Didn't foresee that it shouldn't have come as a mystery. It's just a repeat in history. I'll be there. I was there. Anytime I wanna visit again, I listen to my favorite bands. They're never really gone. They live on through their songs.